Well, good evening, everyone. How we doing? Spent the weekend at the UCP AGM, and I'm sure some of you have been reading up on that a little bit today. And of course, the media has been playing around with, some of the language around how extreme some of the resolutions that were put forward. Remember that the resolutions that get put forward in an AGM really is a temperature gauge. It is put out there by the members for the direction of the party. And the party is able to fully understand, I think, what matters most to its members. And I have to say, being the largest political gathering at an AGM in Canadian history, I think that sent a very large message and a very important message to our premier and her caucus and our elected officials, because there were matters here that are fundamental and they are critical that they be addressed. Some of them haven't been addressed yet. And so I think that will put some pressure on them to do that sooner than later. Some of those included infringement on individual rights. So whether it was protecting doctors and medical professionals from the interference by their legal associations who have looked to quell them, silence them, cancel them virtually, because of a difference of opinion as opposed to the propaganda that has been shared by these associations. So that was a very big one. And of course, the right for individuals to have privacy without having to disclose things such as vaccination status and other medical health information with anybody. Those came across really loud and clear this weekend. So, Danielle's been a little bit quiet on that. I think that's something that she's going to have to get a little bit louder on. And apparently there's going to be some pretty spectacular announcements coming out here with respect to AHS decentralization, and, the chief medical officer and choices moving forward as to how they are going to rectify some of the problems that we're seeing. Money's not the issue with AHS. Administration, senior bureaucracy, corruption is a bigger issue, and that needs to be tackled sooner than later. But also some of the ones that were really important were the education, parents' rights. Parents had enough, and if there was one single resolution and message that came across loud and clear this weekend was parents have had enough. Government does not get to decide what our children, do, and this whole concept and idea that, a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 12-year-old can make decisions for themselves. They can barely tie their own shoes, and somehow they can make decisions around pronouns and their own identity, and doing so without the knowledge of a parent. That became a very, very, very strong message to this government, was that will not be tolerated and that will not be accepted. Parents are the ones who get to make the decisions about their children's education, about their children's pronouns, about what they're learning in school, what's acceptable, what's not. And it was very clear that sexually oriented kind of materials should be not allowed. Schools are to be for reading, writing, arithmetic. And that was a very, very important message that I don't think I saw a single no card that went up when it came to some of those resolutions. Freedom of expression, identity politics, obviously this cancel culture that's been going on. The resolutions really focused on a lot of the key social issues around digital currencies as well, about protecting our election integrity and avoiding voting machines. People want paper ballots. They want to know that they're being audited, that there is a system and then a way to ensure that that system is being done fairly and democratically, and that is not being manipulated through electronic means. A lot of support, obviously, for our oil and gas. Danielle is still, an advocate of, carbon capture and those types of things, but it became very clear and very evident that she is not going to jeopardize the integrity of our oil and gas and our electrical grids to accommodate silly policies and nonsensical requests from the federal government. And we're seeing some of the, feedback now from Chrystia Freeland and others on, what they feel and what they think that they can and cannot push upon the provinces. And we're seeing, as of even today, with the premiers meeting in Halifax and Nova Scotia, that they are coming together. This is what we needed to do. We needed one strong leader, two strong leaders who could stand and make the policies clear, stand up to the federal government. And now everybody is coming together to understand that the provinces do have provincial autonomy in areas of jurisdiction, and they do have the power. Federal government is very limited in some regards, and they've overstepped their bounds. And it's no longer one or two provinces. You're seeing people come together united now to stand up for what is right, for what is provincial jurisdiction. And the premiers need to defend their people. That's what you were elected to do. We've been dealing with bullies and tyrants in Ottawa, and enough is enough. And, proudly we can say here in Alberta, I think that we have taken a big lead. Saskatchewan, some of the provinces, even Newfoundland and Labrador, standing up for heating. Thank you. Because you know what? The premiers have realized that, what's good for one province is good for everybody, and you can't pick and choose. This vote buying process of reducing the carbon tax on heating oil in Newfoundland and Labrador, well, you need to reduce it across the board. And Canadians are suffering, and they're going to stand up for their people. So good on them. So yeah, it was a very good AGM, arguably, for those of you who weren't able to make it. The issues that did come up were issues that I'm sure every Canadian are feeling, but especially here in the West. We need to take a stand, and the message came across loud and clear. So now the question mark becomes, what is our premier going to do about it? And I think we're going to see some exciting things with the change of a number of board members, as I think she will garner more support for some of these social issues and issues that are more important to freedom-minded, business-minded, capitalistic, more libertarian individuals. Without individual rights, we don't have anything, right? Without the autonomy to our own, the right to our own bodily autonomy, really, we don't have any property rights. And, one of the resolutions went so far as to talk about the right to bear arms. And, this is where people are going. We're getting back to the protection of individual rights and the need for government and the proper role for government. So hang tight. Let's see what comes out of this. I think the next few months are going to be extremely interesting. And I am excited with a breath of fresh air. I think that this party is not as disunited as people want it to be. I think Jason Kenney, with COVID policies, really created a rift, and I think we're seeing people coming back to the conservative values, family values that are important, traditional values that really bring people together and make us a community and make us a culture that's worth defending and protecting. So hang tight, let's see what happens, and God bless you all.